Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the very first ever episode of Mentality. And it is a platform where iron sharpens iron, but it's not the iron sharpening iron thinking that you're thinking, because we deal with mental health, we deal with love, we deal with wealth, we deal with togetherness, and we also just deal with other things of mental health as it relates to men. I am Cole Johnson. I am joined by the co-host of this show, Will Otero, but we know him better as Wise El Jefe. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing well. Excited. I'm excited for this. We've been talking about this for how long now?
Oh gosh. Let me see. You pitched this idea to me. I want to say October. I think that's when you pitched it to me.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Uh, well, for those who don't know us, we both have platforms all over the place. Wise has stuck in my mind, and Papi Jae and Wize and Jefe, and he also is one eighth of NFC Beast. Uh, and I'm a part of Cole Sports and Get Over Divorce and Revelations, and we both came together on a mutual platform and by a mutual friend of ours named Brian Snow, called Snowman in the Morning. And as of April, my name was actually tagged on to the brand. So
Yes.
we met there. I won't talk about the story yet, but yeah, you pitched this idea in October, and I think this was right before I had you on Revelations on the panel. We mentioned it, and I tossed it over in my head, and then we had another conversation. I was like, yeah, I think we need to have a platform because for some reason I think this is necessary. And so for the longest, I was like, I got to come up with a name. But I was like, we have these wonderful conversations, but I just can't think of a name. And then I'll be doggone if, and I think this was a time when you were doing one of your 2-day guest spots on Snowman in the Morning, and I literally walked into my office slash I guess you could say studio
Yeah.
when pow the name just came. It just came to me like that. So we have been tossing this idea about for at least 2 months, and we've been uh, almost revving like a car that's stuck in park for probably the following month after that. And here
Yes.
we are.
Well, what kind of pushed it was seeing Snowman and Drew Willingham start their show. The
Okay.
so I'm like, man, me and Cole got to do our show.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have a wonderful platform,
Yes,
which
they have a
is
great show. They have a great show.
yeah, which is a tandem similar to this one,
Yes.
tandem legacy maker slash Snowman multimedia uh, product called the Sports Sensates Unleashed, and
Yes.
yeah, uh, and
But
they
we
have
didn't
a
want to go that
wonderful
route.
platform.
We didn't want to go the sports route because we talk enough sports on Snowman in the Morning.
Yeah.
We decided to go the other route, which we're kind of in that niche already with
Yes.
what our shows with
Hmm.
Revelations and Stuck in My
Right.
Mind. So
Right. So this is what I found very intriguing about doing this, because if it was going to be another sports program, I think I would have said no. I think I would have. I think I would have said, yeah, I know we could talk sports because I mean we both have similar mindsets and thought processes when it comes to sports. But
yes,
I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about sports. I already have a sports platform separate
yeah,
from the show
Snowman in
that
the
we
Morning.
do
Yeah,
anyway. So I'm like, I don't need to talk. I don't need to have 3 different platforms where I talk sports.
no,
But when you said men's health and men's mental health and things that are for the betterment of men, I was like, now I could do that.
yes, because it's something we're both passionate about. That's something that we both love discussing is about men's health and men's mental state and everything that I guess I'm with Poppy where I go I'm pro man right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. So all right. I guess this is sort of origin story time. So you would think that the two of us have actually been together for years, right?
You would think that. You
You
would
would
think
think
that
that.
we've known each other for a long time. Yes.
Yeah. And I will be the first to say I really do regard this man as a brother. I do.
Oh, listen, I've told you, you're one of my closest friends
Yeah.
that because I speak to you
Hmm.
regularly,
Yeah.
and so when after the show, me and you've had
Right.
plenty of conversations
Hmm.
where we've talked personal issues and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, and it's crazy because we both feel the same way. It's like
Right.
we both feel like we've known each other for years,
Yeah.
and we've known each other for less than a year.
Right.
Like we've known of each other,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
we really didn't officially meet till what, April of
It was.
2022.
Yeah. The I have the official date in my head, April the 4th.
Yes. See,
April the
yeah.
4th, 2022, which is 9.5 months ago.
Hmm.
That's when we first met. Yeah, and yes, I've heard the guy's name. Wize and Jefe. I was like, the heck is that? Okay, I might get to know him. I might not. I don't know. But the story goes. So I get tasked with not only being one half of another platform. We mentioned it earlier, Snowman in the morning, and then my name gets attached onto it. But I get to be the point person and lead of it because the partner of that show had to go under the knife for cancer surgery. And
Yes.
so,
Which he's kicked the butt. He's kicked Kansas butt right now. So
yeah, he has since kicked cancer squarely in the behind,
yeah,
and he is 9 months recovered from it, and he still is recovering, and he's still getting stronger by the day.
yeah.
So, in the midst of his surgery and recuperating, I assumed the mic, and I was thinking I was just going to roll solo for a sec, right? So, and
Yeah.
and at times I did, but
Hmm.
to my to my surprise, I see this Puerto Rican guy, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen him. I think the name's familiar.
Yes.
Why? Wiz? I know the El Jefe because that's Spanish. I got that,
Yeah.
but I don't know how he does. I don't know how he pronounces the Wize one. I guess I have to hear it. And then, of course, we had a little bit of a green room talk before, and I got a chance to hear the name.
Yeah.
And then off and running we went. So we tag teamed that show that Monday, that Tuesday, and that Wednesday.
Yes.
I can honestly tell you that when we were on the mic and we were talking sports, it felt as though I had an on-air partner for years. The way we just flowed with each other.
Yes.
You,
It just went naturally.
yeah, it's like we gave each other space. We respected each other's opinion, and we found even in sports we were like-minded there too.
Yeah.
Even with the different interests that we have, because Wise is all New York, I'm all Houston,
Yeah.
but our mentality in terms of sports is very similar.
Hmm.
And so I was thinking back then, this is like April 6th. I was like, oh man, it'd be great if I think I could have a show with him. I think I could do something with him. But I'm not gonna pitch it yet. No, no, no. I'm
No,
gonna
no.
sit on.
And
I'm
then
gonna
and
sit
then
on
it
it.
just happened that I just pitched. I was like, yo, we need to do a show. and
And
you go and you
right,
go like, yo, I've been thinking about that for months.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, literally, I sat on it ever since the first week of April. I sat on it. I was like, dog, man, the chemistry is fire.
Yeah.
And and I rarely have had that with people on the mic. I'm like, yeah, we got to have a show. Do I want to do it with sports? Not
No.
really, but you know what? Forget it. I'm not gonna fool with it. And still, I had to get to know him. He had to get to know me, and then of course,
We built that relationship. Yeah.
yeah, we built a relationship. And basically, what lit the match to this, what you see before us, is after after our dual appearances on Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and we rap and everything is over, and the green and the red light turns off. We would have these conversations.
Yeah.
Conversations that sometimes would be an hour, sometimes would be two,
True.
sometimes would be three.
Yeah. We've had some long ass
We've
conversations.
had some long conversations. The amazing part is, as huge of a sports fan as Wise is, and as huge of a sports fan as I am, the conversation never was about sports. It was
No,
always about everything else but that.
it was
I
about
mean,
life.
yeah, it
It
was
was about
about
life.
life. I mean,
Yeah,
we've taught politics, we've taught
relationships. We talked
relationships.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah, we taught entrepreneurial pursuits. I mean, everything under the sun you could think of, we have talked in these green room conversations after the show's over, and it never was sports related.
no.
And so, of course, still sitting on the, I think we can do this for a show. Thought is still in my head, but I didn't want to pitch it.
You know what kind of pushed it was when you was a guest on my show and I was a guest on Revelations, and then we really seen that it was we just have some great chemistry,
Yeah.
and so we're like, you know what, we just need to do this show, man. We need to get it over. We need to just do it and put it out there.
And it was funny when I, because it was my appearance on Stuck in My Mind, which was first. And I found myself saying, oh my God, that flowed. Like it was like a 45-minute interview. Well, I might as well throw the line through interview. Basically, it was a conversation.
Yeah,
It was like a 45-minute conversation that was taped. And the 45 minutes flew by.
yeah, it did.
And of course, still sitting on the, dang, we should do a platform. We should do a show, still in my mind. But I was like, no, I'm not going to pitch it. Fast forward 1 month, he comes on Revelations, and the same energy was there.
Oh,
The
that was a great
same
show.
energy.
I love that show. It was a great show.
It was the same energy. And I'm like, man. And then, of course, when we part ways there, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do a show. I just don't know when I'm going to pitch this idea to him. But I know he's busy with a lot of stuff because he has other shows and I got other shows. I don't want to burden him with it. And I think your appearance on my show was in the summer. I know it was in July. So I was on Stuck in My Mind in June. You were on Revelations in July.
Yeah.
And we still are having these conversations at least maybe once every other week where they're going marathon style.
Yeah.
All in between. And then the summer turns to fall, and then Wize just all of a sudden hits me with it. So yeah, man, we should do a show. Like, really? Okay. And my first thought was, if he's going to pitch a sports show, I'm going to turn him down. And he says, I don't want to do a sports show. I'm like,
yeah, I didn't want to do a sports show because I talk enough sports on Snowman in the morning,
right.
And we talk sports on Papi Jae and Wize. Not Papi Jae and Wize, not only sports, we talk entertainment as well.
Right.
But I was like, no, we don't want to do sports. We want to do something else.
Yeah. Now there might be some sports stories that will introduce into it. Like if we were flowing within the construct of the show, I probably would introduce. For those who aren't in the sports realm, so there was a Monday Night Football game earlier this month between the Bengals and the Bills. Bills versus Bengals, basically.
Yes, but that's different. That's different,
right?
Because of the situation,
right?
That's a topic we could touch on because it's a life and death situation that happened.
Right.
So even though it happened during a sporting event, it is life altering. So it's something that we would have definitely touched on.
Yeah, and definitely would have. And I mean, there's so many layers that I could peel back, and we wouldn't even have to talk about, okay, who made the tackle, who made that throw, who hit the hole up the middle running. I saw at least a couple that I would hope we would have touched, which would have been, this is a life and death situation, and this shows that sports can be transcended by this, and the possible toxic masculinity that you saw with some of the comments, and the opposite, the brotherhood bonding, especially with all of the players on the field, both on the Bills and the Bengals, seeing them come together and say that, you know what, we're going to lift our brother in the name of health, in the name of having his life be restored. And that really, to me, is the energy of this show and the genesis of what I think we were all about.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. because we especially when when McDermott, who's he's the coach
Yeah, Sean
Sean
McDermott, coach of the
McDermott,
Bills.
when he's like, "Yo, I got to go be with my player, my
Yes.
guy," and Zach Taylor, the coach of the Bengals, is like,
Mhm.
go
Yeah.
be with your guy," and that just shows you that when we come together, like
Yeah.
anything's possible.
Yeah.
And just the outpour of support that came out. His GoFundMe raised a ridiculous amount of money.
Oh my gosh, that was
People
awesome.
really came around and rallied around Damar Hamlin,
Mhm.
and it just was one of those feelings that, listen, this is what we can do when we're united,
Yeah.
when we're together as a
Mhm.
country, and we're together.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're red or blue. In times of need, we can come together and rally around each other.
And that energy there is basically why mentality was born, because I think we both felt, the energy that we have when we talk with one another, that it's like we separate the fact that, yeah, we have differences. I mean,
Of course.
there's things that Wise does that I don't do. There's things I do that Wise doesn't do.
Yeah.
But we don't judge each other because of it.
No, we
You know,
respect
respect.
our spaces. We respect
Mhm.
what we do. We don't. That's the thing. We don't judge.
Right.
That's the thing. We don't judge each other. We
Right.
accept our differences. We accept who we are,
Mhm.
and that's why our relationship works,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
we have the utmost respect for each other. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, I do things that you don't do, and you do things that, and that's fine, because
Yeah.
that's the uniqueness in us.
Right.
We're different. We're two different. We're not the same person. So
Right. And that's what makes it even better. We're not you're not going to see two sides of the same coin. You're not going to see twins.
yeah,
But
even though
what
we look like twins right now because we got matching hoodies.
that's
You know what
true.
I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right about that.
If this was
You're
not
100% right about
planned, this was not
that.
planned.
No, it wasn't. No, we didn't. We didn't send a memo to each other. Yeah, yeah. Wear hoodies on this
Wear
show.
hoodies in there, yeah.
No. Yeah. We definitely are two different men. But
Yes,
what?
what it is at the core, at the core of it all, we have similar values.
Yes.
I'm saying we're both
Mhm.
family oriented,
Right.
and so that's where the similarities come together.
Right.
Where, and sports, and of course
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
both
Sports
love
for sure.
sports.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's what I discovered in the conversations we've had and learning about growing with. And yes, I am a heterosexual man. So is Wise. I
Yes,
have no problem saying this to another man. Love.
of
I
course
have
not.
grown in these conversations to love this man simply because I learned that, yes, there are some differences we have, but I learned there's a lot of similarities we have.
Yeah,
There's a lot of common ground we have.
yeah, we do, especially when it comes to our wives.
I think that's one of the biggest commonalities, because I think we both,
We
I
both
think
got boss. We both
yeah,
got boss chicks. That's
yeah,
what it is,
yeah.
man.
We both definitely have boss chicks. We've exchanged stories about how big of a boss chick our wives are,
Yes.
and I mean, Wise has talked about how she has helped him business wise,
Hmm.
and I have talked to him about the fact that my wife is an entrepreneur, and her biggest hope, and she actually mentioned this to me this past week. Her biggest hope is that I actually step up my game entrepreneurially too, and she's willing to help
And
out.
we've discussed this as well,
Hmm. Yep.
because you had a situation come up, and I'm like, man, this gives you opportunity to really focus on COMI Media.
Right. Yes. 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 And another similarity, we both have
Production companies,
production
yes,
companies. His
yes.
is Real Wise Productions. Mine is Comey Media. And and the funny thing is, we both do similar things when it comes to it. So another common ground we have.
Yes, and I'm learning so much from you. So
And
it,
and
it, it,
likewise, likewise.
I've improved, like the title says, iron sharpens iron.
Hmm.
I've improved so much learning from you and watching you, and you're one of the first people, if I have something that I need your opinion on, I'll send it to you, and
Hmm.
you'll tell me how you feel about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
change this and this, and I don't have an ego, so
No,
I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can do that,
that
and
is one thing you don't have.
it improves, and it
Hmm.
improves on what I'm doing.
Yeah. And likewise. Likewise, wise. uh, so there was a graphic that well, we mentioned our mutual friend Drew Willingham.
Yes.
He's part of Inner Route and part of the Legacy Sportsmaker production company. And I think he has a media company of his own called Surtoba.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to have a new logo created for his show. And
Yes.
and so this was one of those after
Well,
the
this
show
was
is over
yeah, it
premium
was after the show was
conversations.
over. Yes, this was after the show was over, and
Hmm.
all three of us are in the green room, whatever,
Hmm. Yeah.
talking, and he's just like, yeah, I want to get a code, we want to get a logo, and we just both decided to just do a logo right then and there,
Yeah.
and he's like, yo, you pick the best one you
Yeah.
want, and yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. And you want to speak about no ego? Drew picked Wise's, and you know what? I thought it was cool. I thought actually it was the right decision
well,
personally.
you added you like, yo, but if you change this,
Hmm.
it'll be dope, and that's what I
Yeah.
did. I changed that a certain
Hmm.
part of it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it fit. He loves
Hmm.
it, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And he's running with it,
yeah,
and that's the thing, and you know we also believe in just simply destroying myths. One of the things that I know we both grew up hearing, seeing, watching, and possibly being poured into us either by poisonous people, friends, or family members is that uh, we could just say people of color.
can't work together.
They can't work together.
Yeah,
Like two black people can't work together, or a black person and a brown person can't work together,
no,
or two brown people can't work together,
yeah,
and definitely two men can't because the egos clash.
hmm
And the beauty of that is, I looked at this man not even in week 2 of knowing him, and I said, I don't think I'll have an issue with him in that regard. That early, that early.
and you know what? You know why that is? It's because I, to me, it's I treat everyone with the utmost respect,
Hmm.
and because that's how I want to be treated. I don't.
Hmm.
That's how my mom raised me,
Yeah,
and that's how I am.
yeah.
It's I treat you the way you treat me.
Hmm.
And so you've been nothing but great to me. I'm saying
Yeah,
you've been showing me nothing but love. You've been helping me out so much.
yeah.
And
Likewise, man.
so for me, it was just like, okay, I can do this. Like this me and him, we mesh, we click.
Hmm.
I'm like, we can do this. We can do this show. Like,
Yeah,
and I know it's gonna be dope because we're both dope.
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Definitely, man. We totally are, and uh yeah, I was harkening back to when you made a design for our friend Brian,
Oh yeah.
uh, and I guess I'll say this on air. Not the admiration for it, the result of it afterwards. I'm gonna say this on air. Uh, Design was wonderful because I actually said to him at the moment I laid eyes on it, I said, "Man, that logo you made for Brian, absolute fire, absolute fire." But I look, I love our brother. I love him. The one thing about him is that he has ideas and he wants to run with it,
Yes.
and it could change at a
An
moment's
instant.
notice.
Yes.
And so my thought when he did it this time with a logo that he created for Brian, I was saying to myself, all the work that people do and it has to switch again. No, no, because my only thought was, I was like, man, you could run with that logo because I mean, Wise put his foot in that thing. He put his foot in that joint.
And you know what it was? It was just because he's a Golden State Warriors fan. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, let me incorporate that color into it, and
See?
then just different little things.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I do a design for anyone or do a logo for anyone, I ask them what colors do you like? What are your colors? What is it that you want? And because I just did a
Yep.
logo for a friend of mine. Him and his wife are starting a vending company,
Mm-hmm.
and he was on Facebook talking about, oh, I need someone to I need a graphic designer, I need a logo. So I reached out to him.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, so what colors do you and your wife want? And he told me the colors,
Mhm.
and they love the logo I made. So
Yeah.
it's something that I'm working on. I'm improving with each logo.
Yeah. You do. I mean, that's anybody, even me. I mean, we improve.
Yeah, of
We
course.
improve. And and to also let you all into on this as well. The show itself here, the logo. I basically say half of that logo is Wise's and the other half is mine.
Yeah.
Because we both created a logo
Hmm.
for the brand,
Yes.
and I was like, I have this idea for it, and I showed him my idea, and then he showed me his, and then I sat on the second logo that he did, the first tweak
Of the
of the
first
logo he
logo,
did,
yeah. Hmm.
and what stuck in my mind was, no pun intended there. Uh, but literally, what stuck in my mind was I had, as you can see, the running men,
The Running Man, yes.
yeah, I had that. But what I saw was the images on the bottom of his logo, where it reflected mental health, it reflected money, it reflected love, it reflected togetherness and unity.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that.
And you
You actually,
incorporated, yeah.
mhm. I like that because you can actually, with the logo, have what the show's about be
Um,
told with
mhm.
this,
Yeah.
and you don't have to write it in text.
And
I
that's
was
what
like,
I was going with when
mhm,
I did that. When I did that logo, I was like, these are the topics that we're going to talk about.
mhm.
Let me just put them around there.
Sir,
And
that was brilliant.
what you did was you had the men part of it,
Mhm.
and then I was like, okay, I had the mentality part of it. So
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what I said. That even with the logo, it basically was split down the middle. So
yeah,
yeah. And I think when we both saw how this came together, I was like, yeah, I think this is great. And it's funny you mentioned color with the friend that you made the logo for. The the main reason why the colors of this show is what it is because Wise said that his favorite colors are blue. I mean, yeah, blue and black. And that he's like, it's going to be hard for me to steer clear of blue and black. The same is true of me because my favorite two colors are blue and black. So I'm like, okay, well, I might as well have that along with white,
yeah, of course,
incorporate the show because that will be basically another reason why you could say, okay, this is Wise and Cole because this will embody them too. And
yeah.
voila.
Because as you can tell from both of our media production logos,
Right.
they're blue. There's blue
Yes.
in
There's
there.
blue in there and there's black in there. So yeah. I'm like, man, you can't write this if you tried. Man. Yeah, I will say this on air. I am absolutely privileged that you wanted to share the mic with me. I really am. And if you were to have asked me 9 months ago when I was sitting on the idea for 2 weeks, yeah, you could do a show with this guy, I would have laughed because I would think he would not want to entertain being on the other side of me talking anything, sports or not. Sports or
and,
not.
and and come to find out, we was thinking the same thing.
Right.
We're like, man, we could work real good together.
Because I'm telling you, man, I was like, man, if we could talk sports like this and it's easy.
But
Well, it might be just sports. Then I don't
no,
know.
but you know what sealed it was the conversations. Was
Oh,
the
that
ones
totally was sealed
was
it.
the great was the at the end of the show when we would come when we would
Mhm.
talk. That's what really sealed it for me. Was like, okay, me and Cole, we have some great conversation, and like you said, it's hours, 2 hours, three. Like I don't even talk to my wife for three. I don't
Oh
even talk to my
man.
wife for 3 hours, and me and Cole stood here for 3 hours just having a great conversation, and it flew. It flew by.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like, damn, we've been talking for 3 hours. Like,
Right.
oh, the show ended like at 10. We didn't
Yeah.
stop talking till like
One.
1:32.
I'm like, geez. Yeah, and wifey would say the same thing. I gotta drag a conversation down to you, and you can actually talk to this guy for 2 hours, 3 hours. What does he have that I don't? I'm like, no, it's not that, babe.
But no, it's you know, when I told the wife, I was like, yeah, I gotta leave the shop at 4 because it was originally 3. I was like, let me push it back. I'm like, I got a show to record. She's like, you got a new show? I said, yeah, me and Cole are doing a new show. So,
Oh man, I love Mrs. Wise. She is absolutely hilarious.
oh, is she? She is. It's funny, right? Because she's always sending me TikToks like, oh, we need to do this. We do. We're like,
Oh no.
I
Oh
was like,
no.
all right, so you need to stop bullshit and just like let's do this. If we're gonna record a TikTok, we're gonna record a TikTok.
Oh my
And there's some
gosh.
funny ones that we're gonna attempt, but we'll see.
Oh, and wait a minute. Now you did say to me one time that wifey doesn't really want to be on camera.
No, she doesn't. Because she doesn't want her employees to think less of her because she's on TikTok or she's on Instagram or anything else. But then she sees these couples doing these stupid things because
Yeah.
we do have TikTok moments. Like we have moments that are just hilarious, and that if we were to record it, it would be funny as hell. And we do have those moments, but I
Hmm.
guess I need to prepare myself to like to have my camera ready at all times because you
Oh
never know
gosh.
when's gonna happen.
Oh gosh. So yeah. So your wife sends you TikToks. My wife keeps sending me Instagram reels. I'm like, geez, babe. And I mean, it could be about anything. And one of the biggest things that she loves, and we bonded over, is the South Korean pop group that now is worldwide, BTS. We have bonded over that, and of course, we we can just simply go an hour and just talk about everything BTS due to either a YouTube video she's seen or an Instagram reel she's seen of one of the 7 members. And it could either be that or it could be like, oh god, there was another one where she sent me one where and this was sort of like a biblical type of joke
Yeah.
where it talks about hedge of protection. And so it was a video of 2 dogs running, and there was a bigger white dog that ran and leapt over the hedges. And then here comes this caramel looking dog that's a lot smaller, leaps, and literally he is
It's the hedges.
he is hind. I mean he literally is stomach and paws and face first into the side of the hedges, and then you see the dog go back. So it's those types of things she sends me, or another, which was, oh god, this was hilarious. It was a it was a sign language person, and I put that in quotes because it turned out she was a fraud. And one of the things she signed, and it was hilarious. She they said handcuffs, and she basically did, and then you see her just do this all of a sudden. I'm like, Lord, really? Really? And then what sealed it for me was she actually in the midst of this police press conference goes, I'm like, I know that is not a sign language thing. I know that's not. And so so I basically was like, I basically really made a joke out of it. And I said, man, I said, baby, she missed her calling because she should have just bust out with the WAP. Just should have gone in the middle of the press conference. So your wife sends you TikToks. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She sends me TikToks. I wake up in the morning, I have a bunch of TikToks. So
Oh my gosh. You mean tell me our wives are twins? That's
yeah,
sad,
I
bro.
wake up and had a bunch of TikToks. And then it's a lot. And then if it's something that she wants, at
Oh,
the end of it, it goes, I want this. So she
oh
saw
man.
what was it? What was this? I just ordered these 2 things that she saw. One I guess is a vegetable cutter,
Hmm.
and then the other thing is all the salt and shake, salt and pepper, like they're like electronic. You just
Oh,
they
electronic.
yeah.
Okay.
So you buy the Himalayan salt and you get the pepper and you put it in the machine and it lights up and it grinds up the salt and pepper.
Nice. Nice, man. Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, there's a couple other things I gotta go in order for her, but
hmm
yeah,
Wow. So even that we have in common. Okay. Uh and the wonderful thing about our relationship is even with these conversations, we still learn something new about the other.
yes,
And and I think that's what I love about the brotherhood that we have, in that we're unafraid to be brothers with each other.
no, not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Now, one of the differences is he has brothers. I don't.
Yes,
And
I have a bunch of them.
yeah, you have a myriad of them,
I
as
have
you
a
have
bunch of them.
as you have said. I'm not saying it to clown. You've
No,
actually said you have a myriad of them.
I have a bunch of them. Yeah, I
Hmm
have 7 brothers,
Yeah.
2 sisters. Well,
hmm
I had 7. 2 have gone
Yeah.
on
Yes,
to a
sir.
better
Two have
place,
passed away.
but there's 7 of them.
Jeez, man. And the funny thing is, to me, the closest relationship that I have seen him have with family happens to be his nephew, which is
Yes,
he's around the same age. So I'm thinking,
yeah,
wow, and they act like brothers.
because we were raised together, so that's
Yeah,
why it's more like he's my brother than he's my nephew. Because
right,
again, my other siblings from my mom, they all the closest to me is my sister, and she has me by 11 years. So
right.
the rest of them have me by at least 15 and up.
Oh wow.
So Poppy's what 3 years older than me.
hmm
Yeah, he'll be 50 this year, and I'll be
Yeah,
47. Yeah,
yeah.
so he's 3 years older than me, and we were raised together.
hmm
We were raised together, so he's more like my brother than anything else.
hmm Yeah, and of course I've interviewed him on
Yes.
Revelations. I learned for sure the respect level is high for you with him, and that was a great interview to have. Just if for no other reason, learning a lot about him, obviously, but learning even more about you through him, seeing how he looks at you through his eyes. That's like, that's cool. That's cool that a family member actually could see the promise and the power that this brother has, because I see it.
Okay.
I'm
He's been besides the wife, he's my number one fan.
hmm
Like besides the wife, he is my number one fan. He
yeah.
whenever I be like, yo, I want to do this. All right, he'll go like, let's do it then.
hmm
Anytime I got an idea, he already knows that once I have an idea and I say it,
hmm
he like, you're gonna do it anyway. So let's do it. Let's do this. And
yeah.
so we've grown. Like he's the one who actually started. He started first. He was doing his YouTube, and he already had his YouTube channel going and all that. So it took me to finally just press record and do my podcast, do the stuck in my mind, which
hmm
at first he's been on at the beginning. He was on quite a few episodes,
hmm
and so it's just he's helped me grow as a podcaster, and it's funny because he won't do it like I remember when he did his first interview when he interviewed someone.
hmm
It was horrible. It
Mm.
was horrible. And he sent it to me. And I go, yeah, you suck. He says that.
Oh
He goes,
man.
he goes, yeah, I know. He says, I know. He says, I can talk, but I cannot interview no one. And it was just and because it was you could tell that he was uncomfortable with
Yeah.
doing the interview.
Mhm.
And he's like, yo, I'm gonna leave that shit to you, man. You do the interviews. I don't
Mhm.
need to do interviews. I just need to come on and talk and cook and do what I gotta do. He says, I
Yeah.
am not doing no damn interviews. And
Yeah.
he hasn't. And he has not. He'll be interviewed. He
Right.
can be interviewed, but he will not do an interview because he does not like it.
Yeah, he makes for a compelling guest. I know
Yeah,
that from experience.
he's a heck of a yes. But
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't interview someone, and I'm talking, and like the dude was a financing dude, and
Okay.
it just didn't fit what he was doing. It didn't
Oh
fit him.
no.
It did not fit him, and he's like, he says, and when I told him, I said, yeah, you suck, man. You just, he says, I know. He says, that's why I
Oh
had to send it
no.
to you. He says,
I
that's why I
know.
had to send it to you so you could see that I'm not good at interviews. You're the interviewer. I'm not doing interviews. and he has not done interviews. He just
uh,
he won't interview anyone because he doesn't like it.
yeah. And it was funny. Another mutual friend of ours, Chris Bass.
Yes.
Uh, we actually talked about this. Well, when this is recording, we actually talked about this on Snowman in the morning earlier this morning. Just about the art of interviewing, and
Yeah.
yeah, it takes a special person to learn how to actually conduct an interview the right way. And obviously that was one of the reasons why I respected you, because I got a chance to be on your platform. Not and before then I peeped a couple of the episodes. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So yeah, he's a laid back interviewer. That's kind of cool. Sort of like, I forget the guy's name, but Inside Actor Studio is the show.
Oh,
I think Lipton's his last name.
yes, John. It's not. It's yes. It's is it John Lipton? As Lipton is his last name. I
Yeah,
can't remember if it's
I can't
John
remember
is
his
his
first
first
name,
name. Yes.
but your flow seems to be like his. Where you get exactly what you want out of your guests, but you don't do it in a way where you're strong arming your guest.
No, because for me it's I want them to be comfortable. I want them to
Hmm.
be themselves. So when I go, so I'm just myself. So
Hmm.
I'm naturally curious. I want to know certain
Right.
things, like whatever
Hmm.
you do, whatever it is you're here to promote or whatever, and I'll ask questions around it.
Hmm.
And so, but my goal is to make them feel comfortable when they're on my
Right.
show. I
Hmm.
want them to come on, feel comfortable, just be themselves. Because the audience tends to enjoy that more when they realize that they're watching two people be their authentic selves.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because yeah, my style's a little different
No,
when
I
I
love your
interview.
style.
Thank you.
I love your style. Believe me,
Yeah.
when I did your show, I was like, man, I gotta step my game. So yes, so we did the show. We did the show, and at the end of the show, I go, man, and I gotta fucking step my game up,
As
man.
soon as we ended the show, that was the very first
And
words that came out
that's
of his mouth.
exactly how I said it.
Man, what you do to this?
Yeah, like,
The
like
fuck?
I was like, man,
Step my game up, man. Oh, go.
I was like, shit, this is I gotta, yo, I gotta really do what I gotta do now because Cole is really he's doing his thing. Yeah, Revelations is a great show.
Oh man,
Like,
thank you.
even though it's completely like our show, it's crazy because we
Mhm.
talk about some of the similar things, same
We do.
things, but they're two completely different shows.
Mhm.
Two completely different shows
Yeah.
because you cut it down in segments. I don't have
Mhm.
any segments
No.
whatsoever.
No.
And so if it's but that's who we are. That's our
Mhm.
personality. That's who we are.
Right.
That's you're more organized that way
Yeah.
with structure and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I need to
Yeah.
get that way.
And conversely, so and this actually came from a little bit of my own background and a little bit from being coached and coaxed and cajoled by wifey. She's like, yeah, people like to have stuff in bite-sized things. So yeah, you got to draw their attention certain ways. If you're going to have something in an hour, you got to draw their attention at certain points throughout. So you could do a whole thing where it's like an hour of extemporaneous conversation. Yeah, that could work. But for most times and most people looking
Yeah.
at it, it won't. So you probably gonna have to break stuff down in segments. When I was in radio, because she was a radio not only disc jockey but a program director. She said when I was in radio, that is how we did it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll follow the platform and do it. And I incorporated I want the loose form and the relaxed atmosphere, but set in a controlled structure.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was not going to go over well with with the guests, but having people like you who get on and they totally understand it, I get the opposite opinion. It's like, man, that's awesome. I don't know how you do it the way you do it, but man, you know how to just guide people to that. That's awesome. And a lot of that also is I learned from individuals like you who they you have mastered the art of, yeah, this is my platform and this is my show. Of course, you're going to see my face and hear my voice to begin and end the show, but you as the guest, it's all about you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all about you from the moment we see you and the moment I throw to you and say, how are you?
Yeah.
And and then it just it just flows like a seamless conversation where it's like, wow, I am a bug on the wall listening to two old friends.
And that's what it is. It's like, and I've had guests come and be like, "You're easy to talk to.
Hmm.
You're real easy to talk to." And I'm like, "Well, I just want to learn. I just want to
Yeah.
talk." And so when I do my show, I just talk and ask them questions, and we have a good time. We laugh.
Yeah.
We've like I've had some guests on that just have you dying, and but it's fun. It's fun because, and now that I'm going live,
Uh-huh.
right?
Hmm.
It's different. Like when I was doing my pre-recordeds were getting way more views, right?
Hmm.
But and someone has said, "Oh, you need to go back to pre-recordeds because you're getting your views." Then I'm like, no, because I love doing my lives because of the interaction,
Hmm.
because of it, because now the audience, it's their show now as well.
Yeah. Hmm.
So to be able, and I learned that from doing Snowman in the morning with you,
Yeah. Hmm.
was was the interaction of the chat, because we
Yeah.
have some wonderful people in the chat that
Man.
come and share, and we've gotten some great commercials and some great ideas from them,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and we just have a blast.
Hmm.
And I wanted that for my show.
Hmm.
And so when I was talking to a coach and they're like, "Oh, maybe you should go back to pre-recorded and do it that way." I'm like, "Okay, I understand why you're saying that because the views and all that, but I don't want to go that way because I love the way the platform's going now, and my guests
Yeah.
love it. My guests enjoy being able to get asked questions from people in the audience,
Right.
and so for me, yeah, getting the views, eventually they'll come." But it's just that nothing beats the live because now it's the people in the audience is their show as well.
Right. Now, here's where we talk about differences. So, as you have already heard in this episode, my partner here is extremely frank, and I like that about him. Actually, I love that about him. He says whatever is on his mind,
Yes,
and
I do. I do.
I love it. I love it. In
That's
fact,
stop that sometimes.
in fact, in fact, many people's talk to me about his appearance on my show Revelations, where, all right, so to set the scene, uh, mine is pre-recorded. Uh, when you see his interview on my show, it starts with a little bit where he talks about what he indulges in, and so
Yes.
so he is cognizant in the moment of being on my platform
Yes.
because I can speak my mind, but I choose not to curse. That's just me.
Yes.
And so he's being respectful of my platform in regards, and you could see the wheels turn. And then he just threw that out the window. He was like, forget it. And so he was like, okay, here it is. And then and what got me was I saw him just toss not civility, but I saw him toss censorship out the window, and he was like, I'm just gonna say it straight out. And then he curses right afterwards. And I am done because it makes me laugh hard. Because it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful moment.
Oh man, no. So it's funny because we've had quite a few moments on like that on Snowman.
Oh gosh.
So one day, I I hadn't been on the show probably for like a week or so. It was
Right.
like, well, it was like after the holiday season
Yeah,
after
yeah.
Christmas. We
Mhm.
had recorded in like 2 weeks,
Right.
and I come back and there's this clip, and all I hear is, and I just tend to drop an F bomb. I just F bomb. Like, what the F was that? I go, oops, sorry. My apologies. It's moments like that. That's just.
And the funny thing was, I didn't think that would make you be surprised that of all the things that I create for the show. I didn't think that would be it.
No, it got. I was like, what the heck? It's like, and you just hear Cole go, "Oh." I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
What
oh
is
my
this?
gosh. And okay, so a little backstory over that one. So there were times when I would talk about games, and all of a sudden I would just in the flow of a conversation just go, "Ow!"
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, just to, you know. And I didn't realize I said it often enough for Brian to pick up on it, and he started to do it more than me. So I'm like, ah. And so Brian says, "Yeah, you're gonna have to do that, right?" I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna fix you when I do, because I got it."
Yeah, you fixed him already. You fixed him already. I
So
was like, and he did it long. Like, it was long.
and so and so I recorded it. I put an echo on it, and I put a reverb on it.
Oh, yeah.
And it does sound almost menacing when you just listen to it on its face, but I love it.
Oh, it's growing on me. It's growing on me. At that moment, I was like, what?
What is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, of all the things I created, I didn't think he was going to do that. I mean, heck, I even created a Key Sweat Nobody clip, but that didn't do it. But that did. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
No. But that's the genius of you, man, that you can do those things, and we just laugh. So,
Right.
all right. So for people out there, we have a running thing with the mayor of Chicago,
Lori Lightfoot.
Lori Lightfoot. Yes, Lori Lightfoot. She is not the prettiest lady, and
Putting it
she just
mildly.
happens to be a lesbian,
She is.
and her partner are on the different side. They're on different. There's a big difference. There's stark difference. Like they're the complete opposite of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Lori Lightfoot is a short black lady
Mm-hmm.
look like Gollum.
Not Gollum.
Her partner is this tall white lady
Mm-hmm.
looking like what's the not cousin it
Cousin It.
no, not cousin it, what is it, what's the other one, the butler, is it the big guy,
Probably it's the Butler. You're talking about was it Adam's Family?
yeah,
I think you probably are talking about the Butler. I think.
yeah, but what's his name,
I can't remember. I can't
it's
remember. I'm
stuck, it's
seeing
right
it, but I
there,
can't
it's,
remember.
yeah, I'm seeing him, it's stuck on my tip of my tongue,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
when I saw the picture of them both, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So we have this running joke now where we call her the Evan Living, Mum Ra the Evan Living.
Mum
So
Ra the
whenever
Ever
they say so whenever that anyone talks about it, Cole tends to just pop this picture up, and we're like, oh, we're blind.
and there
Lurch, I got it.
Lurch. There it is. There you go.
Lurch,
There you
yes.
go. Lurch. And yes, Lori's companion actually is 6 feet tall.
Yes, she's
So,
tall.
yeah, she is
She's
tall.
tall, drinking water.
Yeah, she is. Oh my gosh. But yes, I will admit this to you. I purposely do that so that so that if someone decides to want to pop off and do that, they will be thinking twice in order to do so.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to do it. But it's sort of it's like, okay, you keep doing it. I'm gonna keep throwing this picture up here.
Yeah.
It's hideous enough for me. I don't like to do it, but hey, you want to keep summoning her, as I always say it.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw the picture up there.
V Lock, that is you that keeps summoning her. I'm gonna put him on blast. I'm gonna put him on blast. Victor Locke, I am
Oh god.
putting you on blast because it's you who ends up summoning her the most.
Oh
Just so we
gosh.
know.
Yeah, and we both love Victor. He's an
Oh
awesome
no,
guy.
Victor's a great dude.
He's a great dude. But yeah, put him on blast. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So you basically have now gotten a chance to see why this show actually became to be just in how this conversation went, because
This is what
hearing
we do.
things like this
Yeah,
is
this
what
is
we
what we
do.
do. Yeah,
You
this is what we look. We've already spoken an hour, almost an
yeah,
hour,
yeah.
and it doesn't feel like that. Like,
No.
and what did we really touch on? We just
Mhm.
spoke on us. We just
Right.
spoke on what we plan on doing with the show, or
Right.
just so people get to know us, see our personalities,
Right.
and yeah,
Yeah. So you're gonna get us. You're gonna get
yes,
all
100%.
things wise. You're gonna get all things cold, because we both know that in order for this show to be the way it's supposed to go, both our flavors has to be in it,
Yeah,
and we wouldn't accept it any other way. Uh,
of course not.
so in the thought process that I have in terms of wanting to have structure to the show, uh, I wouldn't mind it being an hour long, and I would like to break down to 4 segments. So I would like to. So normally with the
Listen,
shows like
you EP, so however you want to do it, however you want to do it,
so
we
I
doing it.
yeah. So hey, I get since I guess I have a knack for this. I guess I might as well do it here too.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, so in 2 shows that I do, 2 shows on the EP4, which is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson and Cole Sports. Well, I'm actually the EP for other shows too, but definitely those two.
yeah.
I do the first segment where I just hit certain things and I touch on it for maybe a minute, 2 or 3, depending on how much time I have. And so I think I might term the first segment the rundown, where I'll pick, or Wise will pick pick a, a subject matter where it touches on something that champions either men's health or men's wealth or love toward a man toward his wife, or love with a man toward his brother, a man toward his friend. Um, you know, things that are positive or things that we should watch out for.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so the first one I think I'm gonna call it the rundown, because it would basically be that. The second segment, I would like to call it Hollywood style, where I want to look for stories that talk about men in Hollywood that do struggle with mental health. In fact, I'll actually say this right now. Uh, when we do record the next episode, I would like the first Hollywood style segment to be centered around Stephen Boss, or as you all have known him to be, Twitch. The dancer that was hugely popular on Dance with the Stars, and then became even more popular
On
being
Ellen. Yeah.
being basically, I guess, a sidekick in Ellen.
That's yeah, because that's just it just goes to show you, man, you don't know what people are going through
Right.
in their everyday struggles.
Hmm.
Because he had a beautiful wife, some
And
beautiful kids.
his wife and children loved him, adored
Yes.
him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see the TikToks that he would do with his wife and his
Hmm.
mom, and they were dancing and all that.
Yeah.
And then for him to end it like that, we're gonna touch on that
Yeah.
next episode. But yeah,
Definitely are.
it was just devastating, man.
Yeah.
And
It was. Yeah. And I think, I think when we do this next week, I think we'll probably come up with the same type of conclusion, just a little more in depth.
yeah,
Uh, the third segment, I'm debating on it's going to be called from the experts, but I'm debating on if I wanted to have it be straight from like psychiatrists or psychologists or something from the government or a mixture thereof.
But is the government really experts?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. So I probably will lean more toward either psychologists or psychiatrists.
Okay.
And it'll be called from the experts. And thank you, Wize. See right here, you just saw a decision where you could see. I I didn't say this is what we're doing, Wize. He was like, I'm just throwing it out there, and he mentioned back to me, "Oh, you sure governments are experts?"
Yes. Yeah. No.
You know, Wize is right. And the fourth segment is going to be a mix. I might have like any one of four type of segments. The first one is going to be called Closing the Gap, where I want to focus there on how women are when it comes to mental health and how we as men either can be better, get better, or even how we are better than women in certain forms of mental health.
Yeah.
That's one of the segments I want to rotate. I want to do other things such as seeing how basically shouting out a boss basically, or or do something that highlights a guy who's being a really cool husband to a wife, or a guy like like Damar Hamlin, who he has this wonderful platform where he wants to reach out to children, and basically I just want us, this is my hope, I want us to just simply big up men, because I think the biggest overarching understanding of why mentality actually became a platform in the first place is because I think we as men fail to give each other flowers. And I don't necessarily mean that we have to have roses given to us as like we would do our wives.
Yes. We want to acknowledge the good things that men are doing. We want to acknowledge. We don't want it to wait till after. We want to acknowledge it now.
Yeah,
and that's where giving the flowers is where we want to go to it. But yeah, it's again. I'm going to use Papi's words.
Please.
I am pro man right now for this show.
You first told me that, I was like, oh, that is gold.
Yes,
pro man.
So yes, and it's nothing that it's not that he has anything against women.
No, he doesn't.
He's just pro man. He's like, listen, I am pro man. I am all about men right now. And not in the way that did not come out right. He's not all
about. Jay is heterosexual.
Yes, yes.
He's not talking about it that way either.
Yes, but yeah. So we just want to give men their flowers. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. And do other things such as have rotating other ones as some things will pop in my head, like brotherly love,
of course,
or like I said, or bigging up a guy who's showing love to the wife, or her sister, or a man showing love to a woman, and I just want this platform to be a positive. Here's a buzz term: safe space for men, by men, and directed toward men. Because we hear often that that men, if we do come together, and you actually said this earlier in the show, when we do come together, how powerful that is.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, earlier this week, when I was having a conversation with the wife, when she was talking to me about how she appreciated my masculinity, I loved how that felt, because she, as a woman, gets it. Yeah. She gets that I don't have to be a brute. I don't have to slap her around. I don't have to boss her around. I don't have to do that. Now, there may be certain times where I do have to show my strength and might to her, which that's supposed to happen. Yeah. But not in a negative fashion.
No.
And so, in how she described it, my masculinity feels good to her femininity, and that is what we want to display the most. We want to show that yes, we could be rugged, we could be tough, we can be strong, and we can be a lot of things that men are.
But we also have a sensitive side. We also have a side where we can
Right.
show emotions. We're two men that really do love our wives. We
Yeah.
appreciate what they do, and we have no problem showing affection towards them.
No. Uh-uh.
I actually show more affection than my wife personally, but because we like, but that's just me. That's just how I am,
Yeah.
and she's kind of she was a little bit harder before me. Like she was a little bit rougher and all, and she loves the fact that I've been able to bring out the more feminine side of her.
Hmm. Yeah. And many people have said that about me in regards to my wife.
Yeah.
That my presence brings out the woman in her, and I like that. And because of it, and because of the fact that she's full of femininity, she brings out the more masculine side out of me. And you said it beautifully. Yeah, the tough, the strong, the rugged. Yes, we're men that we have that. That's us. But the tender, the compassionate, the caring, that's also a man. It doesn't
Hmm.
mean that we're weak or punks
No. And
or, or
that's been the
effeminate.
narrative for years. That's
Right.
been the narrative for years that, oh, you're a man, you can't cry. Oh, you're a man, you can't show emotions. Or you're a man, you can't do this, you can't do that because you're a man. And that's nonsense. It's like,
Hmm.
yes, we're men, but we also have feelings. We also have emotions. We also there's things that hurt us.
Yeah.
And we hurt too. And
Right.
that narrative that, oh, we have to be strong.
Hmm.
This times you just can't.
You
Sometimes you
can't.
just have to break down and cry sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're human.
Of
Uh,
course.
the, you know the we can. And look, I will be the first to say I have gritted my teeth and have tried to not cry with my share of literal pain.
Mhm.
And I don't mean just heartbreak. I mean physical pain too.
Pain, yeah.
But sometimes your body just has to release that way. And
Yeah.
and this space here says to a man, if you do shed tears, cool. That
It's
actually
okay.
is a positive thing.
Yeah.
It is
It's all right.
okay. You need to do it. It's a release. That's one thing that we as men don't do enough of. So that is something we need to do anyway.
Absolutely. That's something we really, again, it's that stigmatism that we're men. We're
Hmm.
not allowed to show emotions. We're not allowed to to show that weakness, which it isn't. It really isn't a weakness.
No, no.
It's just human nature.
Yeah,
You're human. You're allowed to hurt.
yeah.
Saying this is just is this life.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. And the beauty of life is that even though even though people say, and then we've heard it from Beyonce, that women rule the world or run it,
Yeah.
make no mistake, they need men in this world, but they need us to be centered. They need us to be assured of ourselves, and they need us to be cognizant and aware of when we are and when we are not our best selves,
Yeah.
and find our way to being our best selves.
It's crazy because what was it last week? I was a guest on Life Happens,
Hmm.
even though I was having technical difficulties. But it was and Life Happens is a show on the BS3 network. It's an amazing show. These women
Oh, God, all three of them are
do some
beasts.
great stuff. They do some great stuff.
All three of them are awesome. Yeah.
And it was called it was based on men, but reality versus potential.
Hmm.
And there was she did Grace had sent me a link to this video of where this woman said she doesn't date men because of their potential. She dates them because of they have to have this, and that. If you won't have that, you never gonna come to my house and all this. And then she showed me another clip of another lady where she says, "I only date men because of their potential,
Right.
because that way you can grow and build together."
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm a prime example of that.
So am I.
Like I didn't
Mhm.
I was going through some stuff when my wife met me,
So did I. Yeah. So was
and
I.
but she saw the potential in me,
Hmm.
and she's like, all right, this is someone I want to build with.
Hmm.
And that's what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
about building together. Her
Yeah.
plan from jump is that we're going to build an empire together.
Oh man. Okay. So you've been in my bedroom. Okay. Because I'd be doggone if my wife didn't say the same thing to me. My goal, baby, is that we build an empire together. I'll be doggone if that's not the same words that my wife passed to me. Man.
Yeah,
And I
she's
all I can do is respect that. Mm.
and listen and like I tell everyone she is the brains of the organization. She is the business acumen. She knows she's built business.
Hmm.
She's helped her brother build the mechanic shop. She's built businesses.
Hmm.
She's helped another friend build a cleaning company. So why wouldn't why wouldn't I want someone that wants to help me grow and build and then sees the potential in me? Like when I first started podcasting, she was like, "Yo, I know you're serious about this. So tell me what can I do to help you
Hmm.
do this?" Uh,
Right.
She helped me start the LLC, to get the production company going.
Hmm.
She helped me get some funding. She's helped me grow my podcast and grow the production company
Hmm.
because she saw that I was serious about this. She saw
Yeah.
that I was passionate about it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And she was like, and then she started seeing the numbers
Hmm.
from YouTube channels and TikTok channels, and she like, "You mean you can make that kind of money doing?" I'm like, "Yes, we can make that kind of money doing this."
Hmm.
And she's like, "All right, so we're gonna do this." And and so
My God.
she's like, she sees that I invest in equipment. She sees that I invest in courses. She lets me record. She's not harassed. "Oh, you're recording again?" She's like, "No." She's like, "Oh, she sees the outcome from all the work.
Right.
Like she might not see it at the moment, but
Hmm.
she knows what's the end goal.
Hmm.
And the end goal is so that none of us have to work for anyone else. And whenever we want to go on vacation, we can go on
We can do
vacation.
it. Hmm.
So that's the goal. That's because me and my wife love to go on vacation. We and that's what when we first got together. That's we used to go travel, and we've kind of got away from that. Well,
Hmm.
we understand the last couple of years because of whatever COVID and all that.
Right.
But now we're getting back into that bag. We're getting back into
Yeah.
traveling more, going out and doing things and enjoying life.
Yeah. Well, I know that is one thing that my wife wants me to do more of too. And she basically has said to me, "Yeah, YouTube, you attacking it." She said that to me. YouTube, that should be your lane. You should dominate it. I'm like, all right, no problem. And so, yeah, totally that's there. And I'll say this about Grace. I have the utmost respect for her. One of the reasons why I love her is that she has the femininity in her where it is fierce,
Yes.
it's powerful,
It is fierce.
and you cannot deny it.
Yes.
But at a moment's notice, you can actually see how beautiful and how vulnerable that femininity is. And
Yeah.
she is one of the greatest proponents and supporters of men that I've ever seen come out of a woman that I've ever witnessed. And that is the greatest aspect about her.
Yeah. I had a great time.
Hmm.
I got to go back on because I was having I got that day, the whole day I was having issues with my internet and with my StreamYard getting kicked out all the time. And I'm like,
Oh
it's just
darn!
wasn't meant to be, but I was on there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was wondering because I saw it and I saw you like a third of the way through. You were gone. I was like, oh man. So it was just only going to be for a few minutes. Oh, that sucks.
No, I was supposed to do the whole show, but it was just technical difficulties changed
Yeah.
that. But she's like, when you says you're always welcome to come back on. I said I appreciate it. So I do
Yeah.
got to make a return visit to the show.
Cool. Cool. Well, and that's another thing we're going to do. We're going to actually try to big up women who actually big up men too, because that also is important.
Yeah,
That the growth of a man, as we both can attest, does lie in the hands of the right woman.
yeah.
And there are many of them out there.
Hmm.
We are two big time proofs of positive with that, with his wife and with mine.
Oh no, we've been blessed to have the women that we have in our lives. I'm saying
Yeah.
you went through your issues with your divorce and all that, and
Yeah.
God blessed you with your wife now.
Mhm.
I went through with what I went through being a widow,
Yeah.
and
You're right.
God has put my wife on my path for me
Mhm.
now. So it's we're just blessed, man. We're
We are.
blessed to be able to have two powerful women
Yeah.
that support us and love us.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a blessing. And also a blessing is being able to look at my brother in the eye and say, I love you, because I did not know I needed to have this platform uh, probably until you actually pitched the idea. I knew we had to do one,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what it was. But I knew if it was going to be of something, it would have to be of some quality,
Yes.
and it would have to be of something of substance and of big magnitude to it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yes. And when you mentioned you wanted to focus on men's health, I was like, mm, I like that. I like that. Big up men, bigging up men. Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And I'm going to enjoy doing this with you. I really
Oh,
am.
listen. I have some big plans for this show.
I figured you did, and I figured you would actually.
I have some big plans for this show, man. We because we're two talented men that know what we want.
Hmm.
Um, and we're just it's like it was meant to happen. This was
Hmm.
like this was this was meant to happen. And it's funny because it took me shifting my mindset and shifting my beliefs
Mm.
to believe in myself to start my podcast. And that's has opened up so many different avenues for me and opens up so many different opportunities for me. So it's kind of like it's all to me it's all destiny. It's all meant to happen. Like all
Yeah,
this is meant to happen
it is.
because we have a purpose. We have
Yeah,
something that we need to deliver.
yeah,
And I'm excited.
yeah. And I am too. I am too. And look, I can continue to have a conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
We could
We,
we could
we gotta
talk.
cut this short.
Yeah, we could talk until the sun comes right back up in the morning.
Yeah.
But we're actually gonna wrap it up here. So where can people find you, sir?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Wize El Jefe, on Twitter at Wise Be Blunt. Um, TikTok is El Jefe Wise, I think.
Hmm.
Or is it Wise El Jefe? I think Twitch is El Jefe Wise. And then my podcast, Stuck in My Mind, you can find it on all major platforms, on YouTube, um, BS3 network as well.
Hmm.
And then Papi Jae and Wise, you can catch that on the BS3 network every Friday night, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Tonight. Okay. All right. And I will update. Now you will actually see how where you can reach us to at the close, but I'll update your info. You can reach me at flowpage.com/page/host Cole Johnson. That's flowcode.com/page/host Cole Johnson. You can reach me from there and find me on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and the YouTube channel. And you can catch me on Get Over Divorce. That's on the BS3 channel. Also on the BS3 channel is Revelations, and also Cole Sports. You can find them on the BS3 as well. Revelations airs every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central on the BS3 network. You can catch Cole Sports every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central there on the Cole Sports YouTube channel. And you will be able to catch this show probably on the Real Wise YouTube
Real Wise,
channel.
yeah, you'll find it on Real Wise TV.
Yeah, you'll find
And
it on Real
on
Wise TV.
yes,
And you will find it on the newly christened and minted COMI Media YouTube channel. So this is a joint effort, as you
yes,
see below, Real Wise and COMI Media.
yes.
This isn't one doesn't rule the other.
No,
We're
this
partners in
We're
this.
partners in this. Yep.
We're 50-50 on this for real. And we hope you enjoy what you're about to see, because we're about to shift the earth with
Yeah.
this
We're
show.
we're about to do something different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Get ready for the earth to shift, because you've never seen a show like this before.
Yeah.
And I can say that because we haven't. But yeah, men bigging up on the men, and that's what the iron sharpens iron really means. It doesn't necessarily just mean to try to rough up somebody until the sharpening points are there. It simply means you could be sharp by actually fine-tuning things or recognizing, yeah, you're sharp enough. And here's why. All right, that will do it for mentality. As you see, my man Wize. So glad that I am here with him. Why for Wize and Jefe, I am Cole Johnson. Here to remind you that our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. And until the next time, so long, everybody.
That's 100.